Hello from San Diego this time. Welcome to Thinking Out Loud. I'm Joel.
I am Brad, and we got some good stuff for you today.
We got some good stuff. First of all, where are we, Brad?
We are not only, well, actually, we are a little bit of prevaricators. We are not in San Diego. We are in Rancho Bernardo, about 30 minutes outside of San Diego, and really not that far from Hollywood. So let's just go ahead and say we're filming from Hollywood. So we are at a Digital Connect e-tail conference. Here in Rancho Bernardo, we're talking a lot about the trends in mobile and what that means for senior level leaders in marketing. And
cool.
There's a lot of really good stuff
I want to pull out one that has struck us both, is that a user on a native app is 70% more valuable than a user on just a mobile site. So let's talk about that, and frankly, what does that mean for someone's influencer strategy? What does that mean for someone's digital strategy in terms and how their marketing team's interacting with those users?
For sure. Well, first, it's all about personalization. So the question is, does that stat apply to your business? Because we're also seeing a trend where people are moving away from the from the native app. Right, and people are just going more towards responsive websites, and everyone's website is responsive these days. If it's not, you need to work on that ASAP. But I think it's fascinating trying to have people operate on native apps now, and add additional value that brings to companies. So when we see that, we think of ourselves, well, why is that the case? And so from my perspective, push notifications are big because you can continue to engage with the audience. I think that's fleeting. We're seeing people's willingness to receive push notifications decline. I think in-app badges and in-app ways of notifying the consumer once they have the app open is something that people are open to, and they do appreciate that. And the third thing is, I feel like you can just customize more readily inside of a mobile app. Just because it's native, you have more flexibility from a programming perspective than what you might have when you're dealing with things that are dealing with just more traditional websites and web browsers. So from my perspective, what needs to be done in order to enhance things from an influencer perspective needs to be grounded in why does this matter from the perspective of marketers, right? Why is a native app better? So,
right. So let's assume for our purposes that native app interaction use is better. How ought a marketer to use influencers to drive more? Because my opinion is that influencers are uniquely well suited to drive app downloads. And the framework in my mind is how many times at a family gathering or a gathering of friends do we swap what apps that we like and make recommendations. In fact, most of the apps on my phone have come from those kinds of personal recommendations. So is there a unique opportunity here for companies to engage with influencers to drive those native app downloads?
I think it's a simple math exercise. If you know that your native app users are more valuable, then your cost per acquisition should be higher. You should be willing to pay more to acquire that customer. And so in a lot of cases, this means give them a more attractive discount or incentive out of the gates. And that's something where you can beta test, right? If we're running an influencer campaign, let's go ahead and do 5 campaigns with influencers where you're giving a higher dollar amount to download the app, and then track how they're doing over the first 2 or 3 months of use of the product. And if they're using the app consistently, then you know that you're being successful in terms of acquiring those individuals. I mean, I think that's the simplest way to try to address things. Are there other alternatives that you have?
No, I think that's true. I think what I like about it is, I mean, what's your option? It's largely useless to advertise apps on any kind of desktop, and then on mobile, you're largely going to be relegated to whatever banners, and nobody clicks on those. And so now you have a really unique opportunity, but you also don't have a lot of other really good options.
Right.
So from YouTube, from Insta, to drive the app download, where you've got the opportunity for someone to say, this is the app, check it out, here's how I use it, this is why I like it, this is a really compelling app for me. And to have that personal recommendation, I think that's massive. I think companies need to focus solely on this, where the call to action is for the app download, and
Agreed.
then if it's good, your product's good, you're going to be able to capture them. So I think that's good for now. Eh?
I think that's great. It's
All
all
right.
about personalizing things. You can get a personalized influencer. You can get them to show their phone, which is an extension of them, and it's a great way to acquire new users of native apps.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in. So long from San Diego. We'll see you back in Detroit at some point soon.